Not Leshevet. Shalom. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the graduation ceremony of the 2024 class of the Medical School for International Health. Please all rise in honor of the academic procession. It is my pleasure to invite the graduating students of the class of 2024 to take their places. Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences. Professor Alan Jokowitz, Director of the Medical School for International Health. Professor Chaim Haim, Rector. And President of Ben Gurion University, Professor Daniel Shamowitz. Before we begin, a message on a different note from our security department. In case of a siren, please stay in your place, lie down on the floor, and protect your head with your hands. If the siren happens during the dinner outside, please enter the nearest building and access the closest shared protected space, Mamad. Distinguished guests, faculty, students, family, friends, thank you all for honoring us with your presence. I've been asked to add an extra line, impromptu. My name is Alyssa Friedman, and I'm a graduate of the class of 2007 of the Medical School for International Health. And it is my tremendous honor to participate in your ceremony tonight. Yes, I run the family medicine curriculum. I'm a medical director of a clinic here in Beersheba. It's my honor. I would like to invite the director of the Medical School for International Health, Professor Alan Jockwitz, to make his opening remarks.
Thank you, Alyssa. Professor Jani Shamovitz, president of Ben-Gurion University, Professor Chaim Hames, rector, Professor Reli Hershkowitz, dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, honors guest, Dr. Rita Yabu, joins us from Ghana, family, friends, and most important, the graduating class of 2024. Welcome. The great biblical poet Kohelet famously taught, there's a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to weep and a time to dance. In the past week here in Israel, we have lived these words in the fullest. This past Monday on Yom HaZikaron, the entire country was in mourning, and this year the pain was especially sharp and intense. And on Tuesday, on Yom HaAtzmaut, we celebrated the birth of our beloved country. And even today, we woke up to the sounds of crying and weeping, but now is a time for celebration. The class of 2024 has much to celebrate. Graduation from medical school is an impressive achievement, and today is a special day. What now seems so long ago, the class started their studies on Zoom because of COVID and didn't even come to Beersheba until the start of the second semester. And they quickly came together as a class and excelled in their studies. 100% of the students who entered the match received a residency spot, and most of them at one of their top choices in highly competitive programs. And 8 students from the class decided to stay in Israel to do stage. All this is a testimony to the outstanding academic achievements of the class. Kohelet also teaches, everything has an appointed season, and there is a time for every matter under the heaven. And sometimes one is called upon to be a hero. Webster's dictionary defines a hero as a person who has done something very brave or having achieved something great. And October 7th, many healthcare workers were heroes. Among them, BGU faculty members Dr. Dan Schwarzkopf, the director of the Soroka Emergency Room, who led the team that cared for hundreds of victims that day, and Dr. Chen Kugel, a forensic pathologist responsible for identifying the dead. And not only doctors were heroes that day. Awad Darashi, an Israeli-Arab paramedic who refused to leave the Nova site because he was truly the wounded and was tragically murdered, and paramedic Amit Man, who spent the last hours of her life caring for the wounded on Kibbutz Be'eri. And Neely Margalit, a pediatric nurse from Soroka who was kidnapped on October 7th and cared for other hostages whose safe return we pray for every day. But one doesn't become a hero only in wartime. We have many MSH alumni who are heroes, who have chosen to dedicate their lives and careers to those less fortunate, particularly in low-income countries. Just 2 of many examples I could quote. Rachel Pope and her team works in Malawi repairing obstetric fistulas. And Ryan Cow works in Uganda treating and researching cerebral malaria with his Ugandan colleagues. But there are other kinds of heroes too. A hero is also defined as a person who has special personal qualities and is regarded as a role model. One can also be a hero in the quiet interaction between the doctor and patient in the privacy of the clinic or hospital room. How is that heroic? What do I mean? I'll explain. During your professional lives, you'll be under a lot of pressure, trust me, being pulled in many directions, not only in the clinic or hospital, but also outside pressures, whether they are familial, financial, or social, and you can easily forget the patient sitting in front of you. The best doctors I know really care about their patients. They don't see them as numbers on their never-ending list, but as people with real problems and concerns, and do everything in their power to help relieve their pain and suffering. Their goal is not to quickly get them out of their office, but to solve their problems, and in some small way to make their often difficult and trying lives a little more tolerable. Practically, what does this mean? It means picking up the phone to expedite an appointment for them that might take 6 months otherwise, or making sure the pharmacy has the medicine you prescribed instead of just writing out the prescription and forgetting about them. This is heroic to me. You will not make any more money with this behavior. You'll probably make less, and you will not win any awards, but you will gain your parents' and colleagues' respect and appreciation. And that is something every one of you can aspire to. So as you start your careers, pick as your role models physicians who are heroes. And always remember, it is not only an honor to graduate from medical school, but a privilege and a sacred calling. People will put their lives in your hands on a daily basis, and I am sure you'll become heroes, each in your own unique way. I would now like to call upon the president of Ben-Gurion University, Professor Danny Shamovitz, a visionary leader and a good friend, who has had the awesome responsibility of leading the university through the COVID epidemic and now during wartime. And the university has not only maintained their excellence, but has continued to grow and prosper during these difficult times. Danny.
I don't know if I would call it the awesome experience. If that's the quite correct use of the word awesome, we'd have to... Before I start, we have to remember that Noah Argamani, student at Ben-Gurion University, and 131 other hostages are still being held as we are here. Noah Argamani, for those of you who don't know, should have been a third-year computer science engineering student this year. And we think of her at every second in everything we do all the time. As opposed to most ceremonies, I didn't plan anything to say officially. I have no written speech. Because what do you say this year? What do you plan this year? How do you... And I think if anyone could understand that more than anyone, it's your class. Strong and broken, or broken and strong. Maybe that defines us as a nation, us as individuals, you as students. If you think what you have gone through, starting first of all with Corona, the world's largest pandemic in a century, with diseases that you did not even know of when you started, and now you're going to have to be treating long COVID in your practices, something that was not part of your curriculum. And then to have been woken up on October 7th to the same sirens that we were all woken up to, thinking that 2 days later you were supposed to have started classes. And I'm sure most of you found yourselves at the Soroka emergency room just trying to figure out what you could do. What could be your contribution? How can I make a small change in the world? This idea, I think that probably physicians know it more than anyone, that we have to be able to hold in our hands two conflicting ideas. That it's okay to say that I'm broken, it's okay to say that I'm strong, and that I have to connect to them at the same time. It's okay to say that I'm scared, it's okay to say that I will solve the problem. It's okay to say that I don't know, but it's okay to say that I'm here and hopefully will know. That is your challenge as physicians going forward, because our world is changing so quickly that we do not know, and you do not know, what your challenge is as physicians, as individuals, as parents, is going to be. I wish I knew that I could tell you. But I can quote David Ben-Gurion. When at a loss at Ben-Gurion University, go to David Ben-Gurion. And he said, medicine is not only a scientific profession, but draws from all branches of science and the humanities. Without the development of all branches of science, without a thorough study of the physical, animal, and he did say plant scientists, and I'm a plant biologist, so I was glad to see that he saw that, and the mental and cognitive factors that act on human health, there can be no progress in medicine. That was David Ben-Gurion 70 years ago. I think nothing better describes what the Medical School of International Health at Ben-Gurion University embodies. And I hope you will take that with you, whether you are staying here in Israel, and I'm glad to hear that 8 of you will be here, whether you're going abroad, some of you may be returning, but wherever you go, I hope that we can count on you to be our ambassadors. It is not going to be easy identifying as a graduate of an Israeli medical school abroad. It's going to be an added challenge for you. It was a challenge for me when I was at Columbia University in the early 80s. It was a challenge for me when I was at Columbia University this past December when the president and vice president canceled their meetings with me. And it's going to be a challenge for you going forward. But I trust that we can count on you to be our ambassadors, to stand up for our values, for what we do here at Ben-Gurion University, and that we can still be full of hope. Because in the end, the good wins. It may take more time, it may take more suffering, but in the end, we will prevail in what we're trying to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. I would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Reli Hershkovitz, to address the audience.
Good evening. It's so nice to see you all together here. So, esteemed guests, Professor Dani Khaimovich, the President, Professor Chaim Hames, Rector, Professor Aaron Jutkovich, the MSIH Director, our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Rita Yoba from Ghana, parents, honored guests, and most importantly, you, the class of 2024. Today actually marks a significant milestone in your journey, a journey of dedication, commitment, and continuous effort to achieve your goals despite difficulties. The countless hours spent studying, the sleepless nights, the challenging exams, they all had led you to this momentous occasion. However, today's celebration extends beyond your personal achievements. It is also an acknowledgement of the remarkable challenges you have faced along the way, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, which we almost forgot, didn't we? Due to the catastrophic, terrible events in Israel in the last months since October 7. I'm sure that when you signed on such just a few years ago, you could not imagine being subjected to these unusual circumstances on your way to getting an MD. Yet, here you stand, you succeeded. Kol hakavod. Global health has been a central theme of your specialized curriculum. As graduates of the International Medical School, you have been equipped not only with the necessary knowledge and skills, but also with a global perspective. The MSIH vision of preparing future doctors to work around the world and in the undeserved areas of your own home countries is consistent with what we call the spirit of Beersheba. This spirit encompasses a community and a patient-centered approach which our faculty have worked so hard and successfully to implement. As you step into the world as the new future medical doctors, I implore you to carry with the spirit of Beersheba and to remember the oath you take. The oath not only to treat the sick, but to serve as advocates for empathy and understanding. Since the 7th of October, we have experiencing a difficult period and living in the shadow of the war. This period not only challenges us all, but also emphasizes the importance of the medical profession and demonstrates the needs for skilled, dedicated professionals. During this time of conflict, your studies were likely disrupted, and you probably encountered a great deal of difficulty and challenges. Yet, this time helped you to learn, grow, develop, and gain experience amidst through these obstacles. Most importantly, you confronted of these with courage. You exhibited remarkable resilience, proving yourself to be integral members of the Israeli society. And as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. The world, now more than ever, needs your expertise, your empathy, and your unwavering commitment to humanity, especially in the face of anti-Semitism and its various forms, even within the corridors of prestigious universities in America and Europe. Your education at our institution has exposed you to diverse cultures, languages, and healthcare systems, equipping you with the knowledge and skills to overcome these challenges. Our institution has prepared you not just as doctors, but also as representatives of change and understanding. It is your compassion, your integrity, and your humanity that will make a difference in the society. I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Alan Jutkovich, the director of the school, and the whole entire team for their wonderful work and efforts that have helped to you reach this milestone. Just before I end, let us all pray for the safe return of all our kidnapped in Gaza. Class 2024, please allow me to wish you all the best in this exciting next stage of your medical careers. Be united against injustice. Be our voice and ambassadors. Let everyone know what really happened here since October 7. Stay connected with the MSI Edge, with Ben-Gurion University, with the faculty, and above all, good luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hershkovitz. I would like to call upon Dr. Agi Golan to introduce our distinguished guest of honor.
Good afternoon. Exciting to be here and having this job. I'm honored to present my dear friend, Dr. Rita Fosu-Yeboah, and I stand here on behalf of my school, the Medical School of International Health, but also on behalf of my colleagues, Professor Karplus, Professor Shani, and Professor Greenberg. Rita, as we call her, is a specialist pediatrician and head of the neonatal division at Kumasi South Hospital in the capital of Ashanti region of Ghana. She is also an assistant lecturer and an active member of Kawame Kumrama University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. Our relationship goes back for many years, a decade at least, a relationship composed of joint work in neonatal care and in teaching medical students. About 5 years ago, backed by the Dean of the University of Knust, agreed to accept and tutor MSIA students. She built a rich program including exposure to hospitals in the city, as well as significant exposure to peripheral community hospitals. Rita has deep understanding of the gaps of healthcare in Ghana, and as so, she generated an excellent educational program in concordance with the goals of our school. Her site became a highly marked and ranked site in the vision of the students of our school. There is no doubt this is due to your commitment, Rita, and the personal care for a rich and meaningful program. This is the reason for you, Rita, to be here today and receive our honor and respect for your work. Coming to Israel these days is not an easy task, and we are grateful that you had no hesitation to accept our invitation. It's not muvan me'elav, as we say. We hope that the plan for Ghanaian students to reciprocal visit clerkship here in Soroka will also come through. A few words about the personal relationship that I have with Rita. More than 10 years ago, Rita joined our group, established in 2008, focused on improving neonatal care in Kumasi. Professor Michael Karplus, who is sitting in the front row, and Professor Elon Shani, who is disappeared as being on call. Oh, so raise your hands, please. Okay. And numerous nurses from the NICU from Soroka embarked on a large project supported by Mashav, aimed to decrease neonatal mortality. We faced challenges together, and our mutual friendship and trust were the key factors of our work. Today, Dr. Yeboah is a central figure in the project, developing and continuously reshaping the model of low-cost neonatal care practiced in her hospital, visioned by Professor Karplus. This model is reproduced, and many cities in present practice this model, and her experience was presented in many numerous national and international conferences. Our MSIH students, guided by our professional team, are also part of the research conducted in those centers. Rita, we are proud of you. We welcome Rita and thank you for everything you're doing for the children in Ghana and for what you're doing for our medical students. To you students, you have the honor of having a great role model for your future development. Thank you, Rita, and here's the podium for you.
Thank you, Dr. Golan, for such kind words. The President, Ben-Gurion University, members of the University Council, faculty, the graduating class of 2024, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is such a great honor to be invited as the guest speaker for the graduation ceremony of the Medical School of International Health class of 2024. For our graduates, today marks the crowning moment of all the hard work, struggles, and sacrifices you endured over the last 4 years in pursuit of academic excellence. You are a resilient group of individuals because you are among the chosen few who applied for, were accepted into, and endured the severe discipline of medical training, allowing us to further recognize you as one of the best in the whole world. To quote Colin Powell, "There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. This you have done without fail. And so to our proud graduates, we say Mazal Tov and well done for staying on course and finishing well. We are extremely proud of you, and you have every right to celebrate this great achievement. I would also wish to thank and congratulate our parents, guidance, academic and administrative staff of this university, whose continuous support, sacrifices, and guidance has made this journey worthwhile. Exactly 2 decades ago, I sat in the Great Hall of my university, the University of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, to listen to the speaker on my graduation. Unfortunately, I cannot recall what was said, and so I will not fault you if you do not remember what I say here. But permit me to share my thoughts, and it would be great if you take a portion with you as you journey on in life. Ours is not just an education, but a call to service. And the true value of the certificate you hold today goes beyond the knowledge, skills, and expertise that you have acquired over the last 4 years. Science is meant to serve humanity, and it is only in serving that the certificate you have today becomes relevant. As you serve, remember that beyond the patient's identification number, in your charts, folders, or electronic systems are human beings. And human beings are gates. As you serve well, they can open opportunities that are far more reaching than your certificate can ever go. Also, I believe by now, if you enrolled in the medical school, by virtue of a family tradition, your academic brilliance, or as a matter of job security, or a path to riches, which may not really be the case, you would have developed some love for it, because you would soon know that you need a mighty dose of it when times are challenging. As Steve Jobs said, the only way to do a great job is to love what you do. Love for what you have chosen to do is going to spur you on to go the extra mile for your patients. Being present, kind, and empathic with our patients during their most vulnerable and greatest vulnerability when they seek medical attention is crucial in building trust, which is ultimately what the doctor-patient relationship is all about. Whether you find yourself revealing a heartbreaking diagnosis or discussing issues relating to the end of life, let your patient be the object of your affection. Only by doing that will you be able to establish a connection with them and to ensure that they know how much we truly care. Your training program, in my opinion, provides one of the best and uncommon opportunities for medical students to be exposed to diverse medical practices in low and middle income countries like Ghana. This opportunity, apart from offering you a first-hand experience into the disparities and challenges in the field of medicine, also helps you to understand the medical needs across the world. And colleagues, that is global health. Today, you all have a certificate in Doctor of Medicine. But what will distinguish you from others lies in your ability to stay focused, your quest for continuous improvement, and more importantly, your character. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the goal of true education is intelligence plus character. Character speaks more than your certificate and your white coat. It shows in the care of your patients, both rich and poor. It shows in the interaction with your colleagues, both your seniors and juniors. And ultimately, it reflects in the quality of your work. Ladies and gentlemen, this stage of your medical practice only serves as a springboard for higher academic laurels. And I'm truly aware that most of you are about starting your residency in different areas of practice. The world of medicine is an ever-changing one. And what was considered a medical impossibility a few years ago is now routine in medical practice. Even though artificial intelligence has been used in the practice of medicine for about 50 years, it has taken a whole new level now. What the COVID pandemic taught us was that beyond clinical practice, artificial intelligence can be applied in the field of global health. So one key for staying relevant is to keep abreast with the changing trends. Never settle for less knowledge when you have more. The world of medicine will continue to evolve at the speed of light, and so must you. Learn to adapt to changing trends in the practice. This really marks an exciting time in the history of medicine. But remember that it can never replace the warm, loving, and breathing doctor who is graduating today. A question I frequently pose to my teammates back home, when I believe we have not given it our all, is would you have handled things differently if this patient had been one of our own children? The question would often evoke an emotion that no artificial intelligence could ever understand. It makes us delve deeper for the strength to persevere, and it would influence your actions more frequently than you may think. By all means, we encourage you to use available technologies to get your patients ready, but do not forget to be human. As you move into the next phase of your practice, there would certainly be opportunities for research and documentations of findings. Whether novel or routine, be guided by academic and scientific honesty to report findings as they are without exaggeration or falsehood. Last year alone, according to the Guardian website, the annual number of retracted research journals topped 10,000 for the first time in history. Do not add to these statistics and be guided by the advice from Warren Buffett. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. Think about this and learn to do things differently. One of the keys to consistently doing well is to take care of you. Your family needs you, your patients need you, and the society needs you. It is all of our interest if you are in your best mental, physical, and emotional form. Once in a while, make time and find a place to rest and to recharge. It is okay to take a break periodically. The world is not going to end because you do that. Stand on the shoulders of others, look for mentors, and learn from them, both their failures and successes. They would help you navigate through the challenges of life and make critical decisions when the need arises. I have often found strength in the encouragement and support our team consistently receive from our mentors, Professor Mickey Kaplos and team, in this great institution of yours. From my experience as a doctor working in a country with far more limited resources than what you can imagine, and often insecure about the solutions we provide, it is important to note that your knowledge from the medical school may not be enough in certain settings. You have to learn to work with what you have, work around challenges, and you should never stop trying to find solutions for improvement. Only through this would you find fulfillment. In closing, remember the country in which you have trained. That even though Israel is considered one of the smallest nations of this world, it is also one of the most resilient of the nations of the world, if not the most. As you begin your professional life, the road would not always be easy. There would be some challenging times, either personally or in the professional domain. Challenges never seek our permission before showing up. And often, they manage to show up at inconvenient times. But believe me, they act as the fulcrum of every successful life. They do not come to stop us, but to spur us on to greater heights. They come to test our resilience and courage, and depending on how you utilize these opportunities, it would be a time for personal growth. In such difficult moments, quickly learn to work around the challenge, adapt, consult other people, and see it as an opportunity for growth and forge ahead, because the world would never wait for you. Besides the knowledge and skills you have acquired during your time here, always remember the Israel's example as you journey on. To be prepared ahead of time, courageous, and above all, resilient. We have no doubt that with this you would excel in life. Before I take my seat, I charge you, on behalf of all here gathered present, that you serve humanity, that you serve with dignity, honesty, and compassion, and make this world a better place. We wish you well, and congratulations once again. Toda Rabba.
Thank you, Dr. Rita. That was wonderful. I would now like to invite the rector, Professor Chaim Hames, to read the formal wording of the diploma.
Good evening, everyone. I hereby declare that you have completed your studies and successfully fulfilled all the necessary requirements in accordance with Ben-Gurion University's constitutions and bylaws. And, based on your achievements and on the recommendation of the Council of the Faculty of Health Sciences, the Senate of Ben-Gurion University of the Negev confers upon you this day, Thursday, May the 16th, 2024, the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
So my bad, you were supposed to rise. So now rise. I would like to invite Professor Shamowitz, Professor Hames, Professor Hershkovitz to present the diplomas. I invite Professor Jockwitz to read the names of the graduates.
Okay. Okay. Where's Adi Balk? Meital Banar Fadida. Samuel Francis. Rachel Goffberg. Rachel Goldner. Shira Hoods. Talia Kresh. Matthew Klein. Panina Rabin Kramer. Yoni Leibowitz. Michelle Nadek. Raphael Novak. Alana Roth. Maxwell Schwartz. Seema Shulman. Michael Stein. Stephanie Stockhammer. Jacob Van Buren. Raquel Weinberg.
Congratulations, graduates. Thank you, professors. It is my pleasure to call upon Dr. Maxwell Schwartz, who was chosen by his classmates to deliver the class address.
Good evening everybody. Good evening MSIH class of 2024. Doctors, hello. To be adorned, this is why we've assembled here today. Not adored, adorned. In our graduation regalia amongst our classmates, friends, mentors, and families for this momentous occasion. Much is made of what med students contend with. The exams, the pimping, the OSCEs, the letters of recommendation, the pink chicken from the Soroka cafeteria. But it's a mistake to think that we take on any of it alone. While today is the day we transition into doctors, we've been adorned all along with the hopes, dreams, and pride of our families. We are adorned with the knowledge and dedication of our professors, people like Dr. Itan Neiman. We are adorned with support of our administration and staff, the people who do the quiet work and who we yell at. Also, is Gabby Karen here? She retires today. Round of applause, please. We are adorned with the trust of the patients who allow us to learn as we treat them. And most importantly and bittersweetly, we are adorned by absences, the absences of important people whose brushes with illness and interactions with doctors inspired us to pursue this difficult path. Grandparents, parents, siblings, friends, mentors, people whose absences continue to color our current world. But we are here, this MSIH class, we are quite fortunate, as we are adorned in pride. I remember when my older brother, who's here today, I think he's here. I remember when he graduated from medical school 15 years ago, the first doctor in our family. To me, he wasn't just that guy who forced me to watch him play video games. He was now a surgeon who forced me to watch him play video games. But he was now a person who treated people, who helped people. People entrusted their lives to him. I could not feel greater pride. I think of my wife's grandmother, Mimi. She was diagnosed with cancer a year ago, and unfortunately, she passed away last month. I can't think of a single person who wanted to see this day more. And it still burns me up to think that she didn't. And she would go, Max John. John means dear in Armenian. She was Persian Armenian. She would go, Max John. In Iran, we would call you Mr. Doctor. And we would call your wife Mrs. Wife of Doctor. My wife was less enthusiastic about her new title. Mimi would tell me she would pray for my success every day at church. She was a woman of a very deep and abiding faith, which I needed, as I did not use Anki flashcards or Adderall. All of these adornments we accept readily. The pride, the prayers, the intense expectations and pressure, the hope, the guidance, and the pangs of longing for these people we miss dearly and who shaped our lives. May we heal people with the best of our abilities, adorned with all that we are given, and to everyone here today and to the people watching at home, on behalf of my class, all I can say is thank you.
It's an honor, as a former class rep, to call upon Dr. Maytal Banar and Dr. Raquel Weinberg as the class reps since day one to address the audience.
We're going to take a breath. All right, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud parents and family members, and fellow doctors, welcome to the graduation of the class of 2024. I am Eitab Ben-Arfadida.
And I'm Raquel Weinberg. We'll keep this short and sweet. The two of us have been class representatives since our first year of medical school, when we were spread out across multiple time zones and met virtually on Zoom. It feels like just yesterday we were logging in together, and I can't believe we're standing here at graduation today. Time really flew by, and we've been through a lot.
We've learned languages together, quarantined together, traveled together, led codes together, ran from sirens together, practiced ultrasound techniques on each other, some of us a little more happy to volunteer as patients than others, and so much more. For some of us, we've been at your weddings, hugged your parents and your babies. We're more than just a medical school class. We've become a small family.
As class rep, it's been such a pleasure and quite the journey to watch all of us come into our own as future physicians. We're so proud of our class for all that we've accomplished. Some of our accomplishments include, and bear with us for some inside jokes,
We actually made it off of Zoom.
we've abbreviated many common Hebrew words for everyday dialect, including slich and toads. Shout out to the Aspirin Council.
We fought for the top spot on Kahoot, but don't you dare play the music.
We finally translated the Soroka doctor's Hebrew from tubus to intubation tube.
And we survived the desert dry heat and, just as miraculously, the Israeli banking system.
On to the serious accomplishments. All of us who entered the match are going to incredible places in the United States, many of us at our top choices. And the remainder of the class staying in Israel will enter the stage, a transition year, in a few months, and we wish you all the best of luck.
The biggest accomplishment of all, in our opinion, is that we graduated medical school during the craziest 4 years our school, Israel, and the world has ever seen. To our class, and excuse us for the triggering word, we have learned much more than how to be flexible. We have learned to be resilient.
It's been an absolute honor, and we love you all very much.
And
now we take off our class rep hats.
As appreciation for your 4 years of service as class reps, your classmates have requested to present you.
That's so nice.
We don't have a speech prepared, but we just really love them so much, Raquel and Meital, and they've just done amazing stuff for us, and this is on behalf of our class. So thank you guys.
Prior to concluding, it is customary for our school to present some special awards. I call upon Professor Mark Clarfield to join me on the stage to present this year's awards.
Well, good evening, everybody, and congratulations to the class. This is the fun part of the evening. I get to give out prizes. It wasn't fun until now. No, it was fun. This is the funner part. You want to? There are 4 awards, and I'm giving them in chronological order, meaning that we added these rewards over the years. The first award, the reward award, is named after Carmen Margolis. Carmen, can you just stand up for a sec? Who was the one of two. One of the 2 founding deans, directors of this medical school. It's the Margolis Award for Clinical Excellence in recognition of outstanding performance in all aspects of clinical medicine over the academic years. It's based on performance from the 3rd-year clerkships, the 4th-year electives, and the global health rotation. Dr. Samuel Francis, can you please come again? Best doctor in the house. The next award is named after Sakal Kiev. Just a couple of words. Sakal was a student here a number of years ago, and tragically he died of cancer in his 4th year. And Sakal was really one of the most remarkable people that any of us who came to know him ever met. He was a child of Cambodian boat people who moved to America. He didn't have an easy life, but he got into this medical school. He married. He had 5 children, and we gave him his degree in absentia, in memory, to his wife and 5 children who came up here on the stage a couple of years ago. And this award is for modeling the qualities of respect, involvement, kindness, and compassion with humor, joy, and a zest for life. Dr. Maytal Banar, please. Mensch of the Year, or Frau. No. Okay. And then we have the next award, which is the Richard Deckelbaum Award for Global Health Excellence. Now, Richard Deckelbaum is, or he still is, but he was, together with Carmen Margolis, the other founding director of this medical school. And unfortunately, he can't be here tonight, but Lynn will represent him, and Richard is well known and loved by all of us. And Richard is really a fantastic example of a global health physician. He's been everywhere, done everything, and is a fine person as well. So this award, this year's recipient of the Richard Deckelbaum Award for Global Health Excellence is, in recognition of consistent contribution to the function and spirit of the global health and medicine curriculum, with 1 L, Michelle Neidig. And a new award this year that Professor Jodkowitz made up. This is a really tough one. You know, when you give a lecture, you have to give conflicts of interest at the beginning, declare potential. Well, this is a big conflict of interest because Jodkowitz calls this the Amar Clarfield Humanism in Medicine Award. I don't know who that guy was. And this year's recipient, in recognition of his compassionate, collaborative, and scientifically excellent care to patients, both individually and in activities which furthered humanism at MSIH, with 2 L's, Maxwell Schwartz.
Thank you, Professor Clarfield. Okay. Every year, MSIH gives a Distinguished Service Award for a student who has excelled in service to the community, the country, the world, has gone above and beyond to give of himself to his fellow citizens of the world. This year, we have a special award. We're giving it to 2 students who managed to complete medical school while doing months of miluim in the Israeli army during their 4th year. And the recipients of the award, who we all, in recognition with deep appreciation for your dedicated service to the country and the Israeli Defense Forces, and a big thank you from all of us, Yoni Leibowitz. And Michael Marks, who can't be with us today. Thank you. Every year, MSH gives out 2 teaching awards. One's clinical teaching and one's for preclinical teaching. This year, we would like to give for excellence in clinical teaching in recognition with deep appreciation for excellence in teaching at the Medical School for International Health, our resident radiologist who has taught all of the class radiology, and also in addition to that is the 4th-year advisor and works closely with each of the students to match, and that is Professor Ben Tarragon. Okay. Every year, like I said, MSH gives a preclinical teaching award with recognition and with deep appreciation for excellence in teaching at the Medical School for International Health. And this year, we have a special presentation. We are giving it to our 2 teachers of physiology, Dr. Gal Ben-Ari, and we're going to ask, and Dr. Eitan Niemann, Zichrono Livracha, who taught all of you physiology and has taught MSH physiology for many years and died and fell in battle tragically on October 9th, 2024. So I'd like to come up Dr. Ari and Yael Neiman, the wife of Eitan Zichrono Livracha, to accept the awards. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, faculty, Yael, the wife of Eitan, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2024. 10 years ago, to ease the load while studying the human systems, the faculty decided to add a new physiology course. Eitan Neiman and I were chosen to develop it. We embarked on this journey with the goal of not only to teach physiology, but also to spark curiosity and passion for human physiology in the very first real medical course in our school. In the past 10 years, the course has evolved to include and review all human systems physiology and set solid foundations for further learning. But it was not only the course that evolved during those years. Both Eitan and I grew from interns to residents to seniors in our departments. Despite challenges like the COVID pandemic and being away during our fellowships, thanks to our teamwork and commitment, we succeeded in maintaining the quality of education. Each semester, we had those regular conversations. How was your first class? How many students attended? Any complaints? Was the quiz okay? Will you be available to meet and choose questions for the final exam? Teamwork at its best, such that benefited both the students and the staff. The events of October the 7th struck us all hard. As Eitan and many others, I served that day at the hospital and later that night was recruited. My unit was amidst preparation for the military operation while the horrible news about Eitan arrived. I remember the moment the air ran out of my lungs and refused to flow back in as we teach yearly in our physiology course. We lost and still are losing so many friends and colleagues, but for me Eitan was more than a colleague or just a friend. As the 2024 physiology course start date approached, I could not think of anyone else to fill the void. No one with whom I can share my enthusiasm for physiology and for teaching like Eitan and I did. And as I am teaching the course nowadays, Eitan is in my mind in so many ways. It is a great honor to stand before you today to be awarded for excellence in preclinical teaching, and I know that Eitan is looking at us happy, thinking to himself, what are you guys making all that fuss about? Class of 2024, graduation marks a significant milestone in your journey from students to the real world. Over these past 4 years, you have faced numerous challenges. You have spent countless hours in lectures, labs, and clinical rotations. You have studied late into the nights, navigated complex cases, and experienced the triumphs and challenges that come with the pursuit of medical knowledge. Each of these experiences has shaped you into the doctors you are today. I hope that in those years, the seeds we planted in the physiology course served you well. I also hope that we managed to ignite the passion with our enthusiasm and that you will continue this in your own journey. Finally, as you move into your careers, remember that medicine is art just as it is science. Stay precise but creative. Stay knowledgeable yet curious and humble. And above all, stay compassionate. The world of medicine is vast and ever evolving, and you are now part of that evolution and its future leaders. Congratulations, class of 2024. It has been an honor to be part of your journey. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Go forth and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ben-Ari. Now. Oops. Okay. I just would like to take this opportunity to give some special thanks for people who made really the 4 years, but this night to happen so smoothly and so beautifully, really. First of all, to Leora, who really runs an amazing team. I don't know how she does it. She's been, even from long distance this year, but stays in touch with everyone and knows everything that happens in the office, so we all thank her. For Amanda, who's responsible for a lot of your success in the match, I want to thank her. For Alana, who compassionately administers all the exams. For Sharon, who runs the medical school. For Esther, who's joined our team this year and has smoothly switched in. For Anna, who runs everything else, and me. Miri, who runs the office, but really is all the details of how well the graduating went is all due to Miri and the dedication she puts in it, so thank you. And, of course, Roe, who has a wedding of a good friend tonight, so he sends his regrets that he couldn't be here. He really felt bad about it, trying to be in two places at once. And also, tonight, Gabi, can you please come up here? We have a special... This is Gabi's last graduation. No, she is retiring at the end of the month after working for 17 years at MSAH, taking care of all the students' needs, a compassionate, a smile, is always there for them, for her years of dedication, hard work, and support of our students. We're going to miss her, and we just want to thank her. Thank you for everything, Gabi. Okay, and then to conclude our ceremony, I would like to call up to say a few words Dr. Lynn Quittel, who came all the way from New York to be with us tonight.
I'm going to make this very short because everyone said everything I was going to say already tonight. But so congratulations to the graduates, friends, and family. I'm really delighted to be here and share in this joyous moment. This is actually my third graduation this week. So I've heard a lot of speeches in the last few weeks. And I just I'm going to steal some messages from the other speakers. So I went to Duke University's graduation the other day, to my son-in-law's business school graduation. And one of the speakers was Mr. Ajay Banga, who's the head of the World Bank Group. And then the main graduation speaker was the comedian Jerry Seinfeld. They were obviously very, very different in their delivery, but they actually had quite similar things to say. Mr. Banga talked about the most important qualities needed to succeed: IQ, which we all know what that is, EQ, emotional intelligence, and DQ, that was a new one for me, decency quotient. Jerry Seinfeld talked about never losing your sense of humor and recognizing that we all come into life with some form of privilege. Privilege is not just how much money you have or the color of your skin. And he joked about the fact that his privilege, he wanted to be a comedian since he was little. He said, my privilege was that I was a Jewish boy in New York, born into a Jewish family in New York. He said, what could be better than being born in a family where everybody told stupid jokes? And that was really the privilege that I went into life with. And all of these talks really reminded me that what I always talk about, that my own experience of going to medical school in Israel, is the word we've heard a lot today, resilience. And I think that we think that resilience is an overused term, but I actually think it's really, really a great term. And when I ask our alumni what they learned about their experience, if they had to say one thing to you about their experience, they would often say that it was really resilience, that MSIH taught them resilience. You had to get used to new food. You had to get used to going to a grocery store and the insanity of an Israeli grocery store. You had to learn a new language. In your case, you had to learn how to be educated on Zoom through a pandemic. You had to learn how to go into shelters. You just had to learn a new way of doing everything. And as challenging as that may have been, trust me, this has really been the best tool that you can have as a physician. You never know when you're a doctor what is going to walk into your office. You never know what your day will be like. So in closing, what I would like to say to you is, you all have the IQ. You can thank your parents, your grandparents for that. You were born with that. But your EQ and your DQ, your sense of humor and your resilience, are what will truly get you through the years ahead and allow you to meet your potential and enjoy the gift, and it really is a gift, of being a physician. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to your families. And please keep in touch. So I now get the really great pleasure of saying, graduating class, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Hats away on the count of 1, 2, 3.
I call upon doctors, Shira Heads, Rachel Gauffer, Stephanie Stockhamer, and Raquel Weinberg to accompany us in singing our national anthem, Hatikva. The audience is requested to remain in place until the academic procession has left the audience, the auditorium.
Kadima,
Graduates, you may now leave the auditorium. Thank you all.